What is up, everyone? Welcome into the video. My name's Jonathan Messer, host of The Booby Show, and in this video, we are going to be doing my full college football playoff bracket prediction. I've released videos for who I think is going to win the first round. Now it's time for me to release my full bracket, and I'll give y'all my national champion. And honestly, I think it's going to surprise you, but it's my opinion. So, in kinder terms, screw off. All right. So I already predicted the first round game, so I'll just run through that pretty fast. In the Bama-Oklahoma game, I did have Bama. I'll do them in periodic order. In the Texas A&M Miami game, I had Miami. In the Ole Miss Tulane game, I have Ole Miss. In the JMU Oregon game, I have Oregon. All right, what does that set up? Well, it sets up for us number 1 Indiana versus number 9 Alabama, number 4 Texas Tech versus number 5 Oregon, number 2 Ohio State versus number 7 Texas A&M, and number 3 Georgia versus number 6 Ole Miss. Okay, let's start with the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I think at this time Indiana's playing better football than Alabama is. Mendoza just won the Heisman. He looks really good. I mean, I don't think he's anything we've never seen before spectacular, but he's a great person. He's a great leader. That team really loves him, and so does America. And I think he gets it done here for him. I don't think he really has to do that much. But this Bama team is extremely talented. Excuse me as the paper falls. This Bama team, as we know, is super talented, and they can 100% win this game. You get Ty Simpson in there dealing the ball, and he can just cut you up. If you get any sort of run game, Bama might win this game. Stephen Daly is out for the whole playoffs after tearing his ACL. Celebrating, prayers out to him. That's absolutely horrible. I hate that for him. I hate that for that team because he was a leader. He was their best defensive player. Freak accident, but it happens. It sucks, but he's going to be out for the year, the whole playoffs. I still think Indiana wins this game. I just think they got it right now and they're rolling. Cignetti got those boys fired up. And I think Indiana wins this game. I will say, if Bama wins this game, I think I'll probably pick them to win the national championship from here on out in my game predictions. But for right now, I got Indiana winning that game. Let's go to Oregon, Texas Tech. I think Oregon wins this game. Texas Tech is not your average Big 12 team. I think this is going to be an extremely competitive game. I think if Texas Tech wins this game, I would not be surprised at all. Jacob Rodriguez, we all know, is just unbelievable, and David Bailey might be just as good coming off the edge for them. He's in double-figure sacks now. They have great receivers on the outside. Power 5 transfers. Caleb Douglas was a former 4-star, committed to Florida, transferred in. Just a stud. They have pretty much a trio of running backs, but they have a 1-2 punch at running back that's really, really good. Morton's playing really well. He's dealing the ball. That defense flies around. And, dude, the thing I love about Texas Tech is just the dynamic athletes they have. They fly around the field, and they will hit you, and they'll leave you on the ground permanently. Obviously, we don't wish injury upon anyone. That was an exaggeration, but they are so. It's like an orchestra on the football field. No glaze, but it's just great. But I do think Oregon. With all that being said, I do think Oregon wins this game. I think Oregon's just a little bit better. I think talent here for Oregon pulls them through. I think they have a slight edge at quarterback. I really like DeCorian Moore. I think they have a slight edge for coaching staff as well. I love Dan Lanning. I think he might. He's already a top 5 coach right now, and he could be one of the greatest ever if they get some national championships up at Eugene. Who knows? Maybe it'll be this year. But I just think Oregon out, just talent, just a small edge there. I think they win a very close game. Noah Whittingham probably leans on them a little bit. Oregon up front, their offensive line is really, really good. And Texas Tech's D-line is good, but they're not as good, in my opinion, as Oregon's offensive line. I think Oregon wins up front. And, yes, you got Jacob Rodriguez. He can give help in the you can stack the box all you want, but Oregon can pick you apart. So they're going to have you on your heels, and you're going to have to back off, and they're just going to run the ball. I think, personally, Oregon wins a close game there. If you can kind of tell, I want to get through these a little faster, not a full game breakdown because I'll do that when these games actually pop up. I just want to give y'all who I think is going to win and then just a little tad bit in why. Okay, let's move on to Ole Miss, Georgia. In this game, I got Georgia. I think Ole Miss is really good, and they almost beat Georgia the first time, scored on their first 5 drives. Lane Kiffin will not being there, I think, does make a little bit of a difference, but I don't know how much. I think Trinidad Chambliss is just a really good quarterback, and Kawan Lacey's a really good running back, and Harrison Wallace is a really good receiver, etc. Daquan Wright at tight end. They're just really good. Deuce Alexander, Caden Lee, DeJon Stribling. I don't think Kiffin. Obviously, Kiffin adds to that as a play caller and as a dynamic coach, but I don't think that greatness on the field just gets stripped away because a coach isn't calling the plays. Great players are going to make great plays. But the issue is you look across the sideline and you see the best program in college football right now and other great players, some that are probably better. Last time they played in Athens, Ole Miss had the game pretty much locked up, but they didn't cut the head off the snake. Stetson Bennett has 4 passing touchdowns, had a really good game. Georgia's peaking at the right time, and I don't know why we didn't expect that as a college football public. It's Kirby Smart. It's Georgia, but they're peaking at the right time, and I think they get this done against Ole Miss. Okay. Now, number 7, Texas A&M versus number 2, Ohio State. In this game, I said before that I have Texas A&M going pretty far. I said that in my preview of the Miami A&M game, and I do. I think they beat Ohio State. I think this is a really close game. It's nothing against Ohio State. Nothing that they've done all year or even in the Big Ten championship game has tainted my view on them. I've always thought A&M was a better football team. I'm just, and I can be perceived as stupid for that, but I didn't abandon them after one loss too. I know it's a rivalry game, and people are going to hate the way I say this, but it's in the 12-team playoff era, it's just the truth in a meaningless football game against Texas. That doesn't throw me. There were some ball bouncing different ways in that game towards Texas that hurt A&M, and I mean they were kind of due for a loss. Same thing with Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. It's a different it's a different beast playing against A&M for Ohio State because they haven't played a pass rush like this. And I think we saw Indiana do really well against Ohio State up front. And A&M, in my opinion, is better than Indiana up front. So I think Marcel Reed makes a few more plays than Julian Sain. Julian Sain's a point guard. He's a good quarterback, so I don't want to discredit him. He's a field general who can win you a game. But I think Marcel Reed gives you a more dynamic chance. You can win multiple ways. Ohio State's defense is really good, but I have adopted the college football worldview that good offenses will score on great defenses, and great offense just beats great defense because there's always a hole in any defense you run. So give me A&M to win that game, and extremely close game. But I have A&M winning and sending Ohio State home. Okay, that sets up a Big Ten versus Big Ten game and a SEC versus SEC game. Let's talk about the Big Ten game here. Oregon, 5th seed, versus Indiana, the overall number 1 seed. Indiana beat Oregon, handled Oregon at Oregon, won by 10 points earlier this year. And that was really the game that was, okay, Indiana's arrived. Because Indiana was good coming into that game. It was like, yeah, this is a good football team. But we didn't know. And if you say you did, either you're an Indiana fan or a liar. But I picked Oregon in that game originally. I thought they would handle Indiana at the line of scrimmage, and I thought they just had too many athletes, but it really was the complete opposite. Indiana comes in this game, like I said, without Stephen Daly. That's big. That's big for me because this Oregon offensive line has really developed into one of the best in the nation. Indiana's secondary is good, but I think they can be exposed. I think in my Big Ten championship preview, I put a huge premium on scheme. And I think Indiana out-schemed Ohio State on a broad scale stance. And I think that's the reason that Julian Sayin wasn't really able to expose Indiana's DBs with that elite wide receiver core. I think Oregon can do it. I still am not convinced that Indiana's Indiana's secondary is that good. I think Oregon can pass the ball on them. I will be interested to see if Indiana can run the football in Oregon, because if Indiana can get a little bit of a lead and start running the ball in Oregon, Indiana's going to win. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Oregon gets their get back here. I feel like Oregon's peaking. It seemed like they had an early run at the beginning of the year where I said they were the best team in college football, but it really seems like they're peaking now. They're just really good. Dante Moore's playing the best ball of his career. You got so many weapons on the outside. In a very close game, I have Oregon over Indiana in the semifinals. Okay, SEC versus SEC. We got 3 seed Georgia versus 7 seed Texas A&M. Georgia's peaking at the right time. They look like a vintage Georgia team. Their defense looks really good. And that's the main gripe everyone had with them early this year was, wow, their defense isn't that good. Well, now it is, and they're balling. I think Stetson Bennett is playing the best quarterback. He's playing the best he has in his career. He's really good. He gets a lot of stuff done for that Georgia team. Zachariah Branch, they got weapons. Nate Frazier's, Chauncey Bowens, they just got some dogs, literally. Up front on the offensive line, Jake Bobo didn't play, and it didn't seem to matter against Alabama at all, which just shows the competitive culture and perseverance they have. That's just beautiful, and that's what you see out of a Kirby Smart team. But they still haven't had much of a pass rush. It's gotten better, but it's not what it usually is for Georgia. And if you can't get to Marcel Reed, then you're not going to win a football game. If you can't speed Marcel Reed up in the pocket and then close him off from getting outside and scrambling, you're not going to win a football game against A&M. The thing that still is wrong with Georgia is they have issues defending over the top. Against that in the Georgia Tech game, there were some plays that honestly looked like they were about to be home runs, and Georgia got bailed. That's not going to happen against A&M. Mario Craver and KC Concepcion on the outside, too dynamic of an offense, and their defense is just so good. Give me A&M to go to the national championship. 7 seed A&M. I think they're a better team than Georgia. I'm not abandoning Texas A&M after a loss to Texas in a meaningless football game other than a rivalry. I obviously everyone wants to go to the SEC championship, but I don't think they were too motivated by that. I don't think many teams are anymore, sadly. But in my opinion, it's still the SEC championship, but I'm not a coach yet. So in the national championship, I have number 5 seed Oregon from the Big Ten playing number 7 seed Texas A&M from the SEC. Both of these teams are dynamic offenses. Marcel Reed's a little bit more of a dynamic athlete at quarterback than Dante Moore is, but Dante Moore is a little bit more of a facilitator. Strength versus strength here, because Oregon's strength is their offensive line, and Texas A&M's strength is their defensive line, their pass rush. Who gets home? Well, I think that's one of those things where, just like I predicted in my Texas A&M Miami video, I said, I don't know if there's going to be someone who controls the line of scrimmage all game. It's just whoever has the edge. Whoever gets the edge is probably going to win this game. Both of these teams have dynamic athletes all over the field, dynamic talent. So there's not a big talent gap between these teams. There's not a big athlete gap. There's not a big quarterback gap. So what does it come down to? It comes down to scheme, and it comes down to upfront line of scrimmage play. Well, who do I think wins on the line of scrimmage? I think both of these teams have really good D-lines and really good offensive lines. I don't think that's any secret. I just think A&M has played more teams that will get them suited for this. Obviously, they're all running through the playoff, but I think A&M's a little more nasty, and I think they get it done. I think Texas A&M runs the table, runs the gauntlet, if you want to say, because they do 100% have the toughest path to the national championship. But I think they do it. I think they run the gauntlet and win the national championship. Mike Elko in his second year wins the national championship at Texas A&M. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe to help grow the channel. Enjoy the college football playoffs. I'll be here every week giving my analysis on all the games. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Jesus saves. God bless.